Howdy, good morning. Alright, so those of you that don't know, I'm in Perth, Western Australia, and we've just had a second outbreak of COVID, and I've got to wear a mask. No, I don't, because I'm outdoors. G'day guys, and welcome back to another episode. This one is what everyone's been asking me about, so it's about the truck. Now, obviously, we've seen the episode with the truck breaking down. If you haven't, check out episode 5 where the truck actually broke and we showed you how and why and whatnot. But on this one, we've got all the parts here. So it's Monday the 17th of January. Now the truck broke on the 26th of November and it took a week to get from Karratha back to Perth. Within that time, we've had Christmas, we've had New Year's, we've had multiple COVID outbreaks, and things have been a little bit delayed and a little bit slowed down. Now, a brand new Diff Housing out of America with 40 to 50 other thousand trucks affected. We've managed to get one. It was supposed to be here 2 to 3 weeks ago, but things have been delayed there. So we finally got it on Friday the 15th, and the weekend hit, and now Monday morning, bright and early, we're here at the workshop that is doing the repairs. So Harrison's are covering all the warranty. They've paid for the new diff housing, they've paid for the new bearings, the bolts, the washers, everything like that. So it's not covered through Ford from what I understand, because it's been sold internationally and they pretty much wipe their hands off it, as most car dealers do. You know, if they can get away with something, they will. But on this one, I'm going to show you the full rebuild of it. So we're going to pull the old diff out, we're going to put the new one in, swap all the internal parts over, do some measurements, do some weights, and show you the difference between the old one that crushed and the new one that's going in. So I hope you enjoy it. And the people that Harrison's have entrusted here are Performax. So the people that Harrison's have put in charge of this little warranty repair are Performax Automotives in Canning Vale. Now they've got nothing to do with the Performax conversion side of things. This is a standalone company, similar name, spelt different. So yeah, Justin here in Perth, he's going to be looking after the job. Heard nothing but good things about him. So yeah, if you've got any Ford, Chevy, anything like that, drop in and see Justin. But yeah, why do I keep saying Alright, so before we go any further, this is going to be a bit of a different video. So I'm going to try to explain as much as I can as we go, but these boys are obviously working, so this is their workshop. They're not going to slow down for me to film, so I've got to try and keep up filming and keep up trying to explain and stuff like that. So there's going to be a lot of just footage of me showing you what's happening. If I can explain it while they're doing it without annoying the fellas, you know, they've still got a job, they've still got to get paid, they've still got to get it out on time, so that they're not wasting their money. So I'll do as best as what I can with the filming, but I just want to say a huge thanks to Justin and Tony for putting up with me filming in their face while they're working. I'm pretty sure there'll be nothing more annoying. But so yeah, thanks guys, thanks for letting me film the diff getting rebuilt and all of that. Really appreciate it. So yeah, let's get stuck into the build and see how we go. We're going to remove these bolts that hold the airbag to the bracket. Then we're going to remove the U-bolt and then pull this bracket out. And then we're going to design a new bracket that holds the airbag to the actual car and the diff housing. So yeah, first step, remove all of this.
some directions to get to you. To get to you, ain't gonna waste my time.
Right, that's the bracket out. Airbag's just hanging there. Now what I didn't realise, if we can have a look here, the airbag's actually sealed on the surface of the bracket. I thought it would have been an enclosed bag that would have been able to pump up and whatnot just on its own. But it's actually bolted to this bracket and the rubber seals on that, which is interesting. So first step is to remove the wheels, and we've got them off. We weighed them and I'll show you the results of that. But the next one is to remove all the brakes, all the calipers and whatnot. So yeah, that's all been removed, and we've just chucked a little jack at the front, a little stand, just in case the truck wanted to fall forward once the diff's removed. But that's just a little bit of safety there, and yeah, we'll start removing all the brake lines, the suspension, and all of that sort of stuff. And yeah, we're getting there. It's all happening. I'll just give you a quick look at what we've done so far. So obviously the brakes are all off. They're all down there and hanging up there, so we don't have to disconnect the brakes and bleed them. All the bracketry has just come off, which you would have seen on the time lapse, and the same is on that side. So we're just removing the park brake at the moment, release the pressure at the front there, and then took it off down the back. And then basically what we're left with is the suspension, the shockers, and then the U-bolts. They're the rusty old U-bolts that everyone's commented on. I'm going to tidy them up and give them a paint job so that they look nice and new, because I don't like the look of them either. But that's where we're at. The shockers bolts have just been removed. We're not removing the bolts for safety reasons. Now the drive shaft is going to come off. Now what happened was, when we were driving it after the Diff had crushed, is that as it was spinning it was hitting because of the pinion angle, and now some of the bolt heads are absolutely rooted, so we're going to have a bit of trouble getting them ones off, but we'll see how we go. Thank you very much for your help, Gilman.
Sometimes you gotta see it with your own eyes. Run wild, you gotta let it out, those good vibes. I'm on a trip with you. Go down, salute the sun, you're the morning light. I know you feel it, home again.
So step one's the rattle gun, step two is the breaker bar, step three is generally the oxy set. There's always one stubborn nut, no matter what job you're doing. And unfortunately for me, it's on the U-bolts that hold the leaf ring there that come with the lift kit. So that little 4-inch riser there at the back. That nut there, she don't want to come undone. She's bound up on the bolt, so we might have to replace that U-bolt. And I'm not sure if anyone's got anything in stock, so we'll have to find that out. But she's not coming undone either way. The U-bolt won't come undone, so we're just checking to see if we can get some new ones. If we can, then we'll chop that one off and get the new ones in. But we're waiting on the confirmation. We're just going to empty the oil, and once the oil's drained, then we'll go from there. But so far, so good, apart from one U-bolt. So I'll just give you a quick look of the inside of the diff. It's the cover's been taken off, and yeah, that's what she looks like. We just got the U-bolts out, and have a look at the state of them. They're completely and utterly knackered. Wow. So there's my tube. She's seen better days. She's completely crushed. Does not look good. This one is probably the worst one, but have a go. We're just going to chuck the axles into the lathe to make sure they haven't been bent and they're not all wibbly wobbly. So we're setting up the dial gauge, and that'll give us how much movement's up and down with the axle. When I say we, I mean Justin, not me. Here is the cross section. So this is where it mounts to my suspension, and that is how much it is crushed. So we're just going to measure the thickness of this one. We've got a rough measurement of the other one, and we're just going to see what the difference is.
Can you see it?
4.79 mil thick. Meant to be 6 and above. Alright, so this is the cross section of the end of the diff housing. So there's the axle. So that's how much it's crushed and been put off center. Now Ford's fix for this is, if it's not crushed like mine is to weld a bunch of welds here. At first we couldn't see why you would do that. So you do front and back here as well. But what we're thinking, that if you weld here, and the weld's got to be quite thick, I'll post up the chart or whatever it is that they sent to us to say that there's a safety recall. But it obviously spreads the load, so rather than just a little bit of load here where it crushes, spreads the load further around and gives it more surface area to lean on, rather than just that one point where it crushed. It's a temporary fix, and then once they got enough diff housings they will change it obviously, but that's pretty mental that has crushed that much. So we'll get new seals, but the wheel bearings, they will go again. They've been inspected and they're all good. They will, no damage done to them. Obviously the problem wasn't around there, so yeah. Now the task is to remove all of the diff center. So all of that's going to come out and we're going to put it into that bad boy just there. So that is the result. That's the reason. Okay, so Justin just said that they're two different size caps. So one for the right side and one size for the left side. Not sure the reasoning behind that, but yeah, it's hard to get them mixed up when you install them into the new diff. So these little spider gears in here, so as you're turning a corner, one wheel will go faster than the other, and what will happen is that these make that happen. So rather than the tyre, the inside tyre going and skidding because it's trying to keep up with the outside tyre, it changes all in here, and these cogs spin in different ways and different rotations to make one tyre spin slower than the other, which is better for obviously your tyres, your wear and everything like that. So spider gears, like I said, they were on the original diffs that ever come out. Pretty amazing.
So these are like actually like a 9-inch sort of adjustable for the pinion pre, the backlash and tooth reading and all that.
So shims are gone and these are the new thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
It's pretty cool.
So that's all for preloading of the diff. Alright, so we come up with a bit of a problem here. We've undone the U-bolts that hold the diff housing to the suspension, and unfortunately they were all stretched. I've got the footage there that you can look at of the damage there. Now when we were ordering our parts, so we've ordered the new diff housing, the drive shaft and everything else, and we asked for the U-bolts, and unfortunately somewhere along the line Harrison's didn't get us any U-bolts. So I've rang them. They're having a bit of a search around now and see what they can get, and we're looking around here in WA. So we've gone to one place, we're going to try another place now, and so far no good. So yeah, when you send through a parts list, you especially 4 weeks ago, you think that they would send all the parts, and unfortunately some of them have gone astray and we haven't got them. So more bloody delays, which has turned a good day into a pretty sour day, to be honest with you. All right guys, that wraps up this little episode. So where we're at is, that's not even good. All right guys, that's the end of this little episode for this week. Stay tuned. We're going to drop the next video next week. So we've had to split this one in two because it was a little bit long and we didn't want you getting bored. So that's the full strip down. Next week is the full rebuild. We try to find these U-bolts, see how long the delay was there, and the backlash issue that we've had as well. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching, and don't forget, like and subscribe. Cheers guys, see you next week.